Yes, good afternoon everyone from the Morningside Arena. Looking forward to this one. And happy birthday to Sean Murphy. Where else would you rather spend it than the Championship League?
Sean Murphy SUB&LIKE.
Tough group this. Very tough group. He's 39 today, Sean Murphy. He's the youngest member of the group. A lot of experience here. Let's see how he gets on. I guess he has to start favourite. He's the world number 5, but he's going to take some winning this group. Of course, we've got Ali Carter and Graham Dott waiting in the wings. Speaking of experience, of course, Mark Davis will be in action tomorrow, but as I say, Mark, this is a tough group to call.
Yeah, morning Dave, morning everybody. Yeah, it's a very interesting group, this one. You know, clearly Sean's on great form, getting to the final of the World Championships at the end of last season. Two fantastic match players in Graham and Ali, and you know, Gerard is, you know, one of the best potters in the game. He's one of the best potters I've ever seen, for sure, and in the short formats he'll be very, very dangerous. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes.
You sort of always fancy Murphy for those. I mean, it wasn't easy, but he's knocked so many in. Players settling down again, having come through the last group. Sean Murphy, 2 wins and a draw in his group. In terms of the head-to-head, it's 4-2 to Murphy. Greene won the last meeting, though. That was back 2018 Welsh Open. He won it 4-0.
Yeah, I mean, the long red Sean went for previously. I mean, that's, you know, he doesn't miss many of them. His long potting is one of the best in the game, always has been. And so a little bit of a let-off, but as it was, you know, first shot in the match, just settling down still. But good chance for Gerard here now.
One.
Yeah, he also registered 2 wins and a draw in his match. I guess the big win there was 3-0 over Robert Milkins, who would have been the favourite in that group. But Gerald Greene, bags of experience, 47 years of age.
Gerald Greene won.
Well, you can see the annoyance as he goes back to his seat. I guess there was pressure on the black with the reds where they were. There was a chance to get in and get scoring, but if you miss, then you're leaving Murphy in.
Yeah, he knew that was a good chance, Jerry. There's a little bit of body movement there on the black. As I say, it's early on in the match, so it's a few nerves there still. But as you say, it was, you know, the way the reds are, it was a great opportunity. You can see from that camera shot, the black still goes in the corner pocket there. So if Sean can somehow get onto the black at some point, then it'll be a really good chance for him. There you see there, the black does go. Not obvious to get on it nicely, but that's what he'll be thinking about.
He made a century in his very first frame of the first group, first frame back of the season, made 100 exactly against Michael Collum. Wanted to avoid the yellow though. What we saw yesterday was 2 things, I think. One is the standard was very high. Dave Gilbert had that 143. And the other thing was you could just tell the event had become more serious, just the way the players were approaching, even backstage. Everything was a little bit more muted because, of course, this whole event concludes on Friday when someone's going to take away the trophy.
Sean Murphy 4.
And to win their groups yesterday, Chow Yu Peng played superbly. And Dave Gilbert, or they called him the angry farmer, he wasn't so angry yesterday. 3-0 wins.
It looks a little bit of a... Looks like a loose one from Sean there, but it looked like a big bounce off the ball cushion there. Sean was just having a look at the cushion. Maybe just a little bit of chalk on the cushion there. Hopefully it's not a problem that's going to be there all day, but it's definitely a big bounce off the baulk cushion there on that safety shot.
Just a reminder, it's a 4-frame match, so it can end in a draw. 3 points for a win, 1 for a draw. The winner of the group goes into stage 3. There's 2 groups played on Friday, and then the winner of each play each other in a final.
That's a good safety shot from Sean there. He's got Gerard in a bit of trouble here. He might have to go for this long red.
One.
But he's such a good potter. I mean, I've known Joe for 30 years. I've practiced with him a lot, and by matches, he's one of the best potters I've ever seen. It's incredible how many sort of tough, difficult balls he pots. It's just sometimes the cue ball goes a bit loose, and no matter how good you are, it's tough to keep potting difficult balls all the time. But a tremendous potter, and like I say, in the short format, he can be very dangerous.
6. Seven. Gerard Greene,
Well,
7.
second chance he's had, of course, missed the black initially, and now the pink.
Yeah, when you have a good chance early on in the foam like Gerard did and you miss a black off the spot, it does unsettle you a little bit, and you can just dent your confidence a little bit for the next chance, and just lost position and had sort of left himself a tricky pink. So just try and get another good chance, string a few balls, but especially early on in the match, the first, with these short formats in this competition, the first frame is huge. I think they both know that. There's a few loose ones which they wouldn't normally play at the moment. That's a good safety shot from Gerard though.
Combined age of this group, 172. So got some veterans here, but all top players. Meantime, double kiss, not good for Murphy. Another chance for Greene.
Good job I'm not in the group then, Dave. A few more than that. But yeah, it's a great chance now for Jerry here.
Well, it's interesting how many, experienced players have got through. Of course, we've got a couple of 50-somethings in Ken Doherty and Peter Limes also through.
Yeah, I think experience counts for a lot in this game. As long as your eyes are okay and you're physically okay, there's no reason why you can't play till well into your 50s, and then you'd have all that experience of all the years playing, and it does count for a lot. So there's no big surprise that some of the older guys are still playing good snooker, well into late 40s, even in the 50s.
Well, the great Fred
6.
Davis didn't retire from the professional game until he was 77, so all you guys are just kids, really.
Seven.
Nice little cannon there from Gerard, and like I say, you couldn't really have the balls much better than this. This is exactly how you want them. So just, as I say, just keep in tight control of the cue ball.
14. 15. 20.
I think that's gone wrong. Didn't really want to play a cannon there, but he felt he had to. Yeah, but, I mean, any time you play cannons, it can always go wrong. And it looks like it has there for Jerry. I think there's only a safety shot available now, so we're very disappointed with that. Not to win the frame there, just to, you know, give him more table time as well and get his hands on the table and get a nice break together. But it's gone now, so you just focus on playing a good safety shot. Don't get down about it, and there's a big target there with the brown and the green.
Cheers, thanks. Jared Greene. 20.
Didn't get the best cue ball there. Gave Murphy that chance to knock the red in.
1.
See, he's got his hand on the table because the cue ball basically just came up to the baulk line rather than anywhere near the cushion. Black still needs potting though.
Sean Murphy 1.
Had he got that, then you feel he would have been away, but the fact is he's handed another chance to Greene.
One.
Yeah, I think for Jerry's confidence in the rest of this match, he needs to finish his frame off here. He's had this is his third really good chance in this frame. If he didn't win the frame at this visit, it would, you know, could really affect his confidence for the rest of the match.
8. 9. 60. 70.
Okay, that's got a little bit, it's not perfect there at all. It's a little bit closer to the blue than he wanted. He must have put it in the corner pocket now. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't bad, but when you know you shouldn't be in that position and you should have a blue into the middle, you can
22.
affect your thoughts a little bit. But it's straight in the middle.
23.
Just blue and one more red. Should see him through in this frame.
Well, we know that every frame is going to count in this group, so it doesn't really matter how you win them. It's been a bit of a scrap this, but Gerald Greene won't care if he pots this
28.
red.
29.
Murphy had that thin black. He got in with a good red, but the black stayed out. Where the balls were sitting, you know, you'd have fancied him. I know the yellow's awkward, but you'd have fancied Murphy certainly to get close to winning the frame. But as it is, it's gone now.
34.
Yeah, the black Sean played, you see that a lot, and more often than not when they miss it thick for
35.
some reason. You seem to have to always aim a little bit thinner on those blacks than you think. And I mean, it wasn't an easy shot, but like I say, Dave, I think if it had gone in, these would have all been Sean's for sure.
$40. $41.
What a boost it would be for Greene if you could get to the last 8 of this Championship League, first tournament of the season. Earned just 23,000 last season in prize money.
45.
Remember, the winner of the Championship League will take away 33,000.
Gerard Greene, 45
So
on the first frame.
Third good chance for Gerard Greene, and he makes the most of it. Sean Murphy is the favourite in this group, but it's a very, very tough group indeed, and it's Greene who leads 1-0.
Gerard Greene to
Bingham's
break.
in that group, Ashley Hugill as well. Meantime, here on table 1, Gerard Greene has won the first frame against Sean Murphy. Of course, Ali Carter and Graham Dott are also in this group. I think if Ali Carter wasn't here, there'd be something wrong. He's so associated with this Championship League, and particularly in the Crondon Park days. The first year we had it, 2008, all the match practice he got, because there were far fewer tournaments on the circuit, all helped him get fit for the Crucible. Of course, he went on to reach his first World Final that very year. Seems odd to say that just a frame in, Murphy's under a bit of pressure, but if he loses this frame, obviously the best he can do is a draw. We've only had a couple of examples of players losing a match and then going on to win the group.
Yeah, I just think with the as I say, I've said before, with the short format, I mean, the first frame is huge. You win the first frame. I mean, Jerry's, really he's looking minimum draw now. You just want one out of the next 3 to get a draw, but looking to win. Whereas a normal match situation, the first frame is not, it's not this all important, obviously, but they're not massively important. But I think in this tournament they are. So as you say, I think Sean is under a little bit of pressure now.
Now we can just drop back in on table 2, because Alex Ersenbacher from Switzerland, Stephen Allworth's tip for the group, stuck his neck out. Well, so far so good, because he's just about to win that first frame, 22 in front, coming to the pink. Very dangerous talent, I think. He beat Ronnie O'Sullivan in the UK Championship last season. Seems to enjoy being out there on the big stage, and he'll enjoy frame 1 because he's won it against Ryan Day.
Alexander Ersenbacher.
Yeah, I agree, Dale. I think he does enjoy it out there, and he's improved so much, Alex, the last couple of seasons. He's really shot up a few levels compared to what he was before. Really, really good player now, and he's a match for anybody. Again, that's a poor safety from Sean, really. Much too thick on the red. Whichever can pop this and get nicely on the colour, it's another pretty good chance.
Yeah, he knew immediately that that wasn't going in. What a chance that was as well, with Murphy struggling.
Yeah, I just said if he could put on the red, because obviously seeing the red, it wasn't a gimme to get started. But I mean, Gerard would expect to pot that 9 times out of 10. But and he knew it was a good chance early in the frame as well, so maybe put a little bit more pressure on it.
1.
Murphy, of course, former world champion, was in the final again at the end of last season. He's going to play the man who beat him, amazingly, Mark Selby, in the first round of the British Open next week in this very venue. Not a great draw for either. The reason being it's not seeded. It's completely random, like the FA Cup.
6.
But at least he'll go into that having played a few matches. Of course, Selby hasn't played since the Crucible.
Thank you. 7.
He played fantastic in the World Championships, didn't he? I played him in the first round actually at the Crucible, and he was pretty poor in the first session, if I'm honest, and I really should have had a much bigger lead than I did have. But then after that second session against me and for the rest of the tournament,
14.
he was fantastic. It's just obviously, I mean, Mark Selby is so tough
50.
to beat over those long distances that, you know, he just fell a little bit short in the end. But, you know, played really well. It's always good to. He's a great player to watch on when he's playing well. He hits the ball so well. I think every player in the game would love to hit the ball as good as Sean.
That's developed a few more reds. Yeah, he fed off the crowd, didn't he? I mean, he'd been a bit
22.
down in the dumps because he lives in Ireland now and various sort of quarantine rules and so on. He spent a lot of time on his own in Milton Keynes between events, never mind during events. Not a happy experience. So to get the crowds back and that buzz back, I think really helped him at the Crucible. Really inspired
23.
him. We saw him giving the clenched fist and all that, which is good to see, I think.
Yeah, I've seen Sean so animated before at the Crucible. He's a lot of fist pumps going on, which is, there's no harm in doing that. It's fine if you feel it would help you. I think, like I say, I think he was inspired by the crowd and wanted to get them involved a lot more as well. There's nothing wrong with it at all. I think it helped him, especially his comeback against Kyron.
30.
I think it really got his, the blood flowing, and he played some great stuff there to come back from that match.
Yeah, I think he played the shot of the tournament in that match. That black he potted started to come back.
31.
He's got great authority around the table when he's playing well, when he's feeling confident. It's like it's his table.
Yeah, he has, Dave. I think most of the top players are like that, but some of them, Sean does. He sort of stomps around the table like he owns it, so, a little bit more than other players, for sure. They've got to do have that, intimidation, if you like, factor when they walk around the table when they're playing well. And it's tough to see when you're sort of sitting in your chair. You've just got to watch it.
Sean Murphy.
Well, Gerard Greene will be getting out of his chair now because Murphy has broken down just as he was starting to look good. Misses that one.
Yeah, it's probably a little bit straight on the red than he'd like, but I mean, for Sean to, as I say, he gets so much reaction on the cue ball with very little effort, so it shouldn't have been an issue for him really.
1.
Bit straight on the black for Gerard, I think. And he's got much angle there at all. I think he might have just dropped this in and maybe played the red into the green pocket. The one just below and to the left of the pink. Might be a red in the middle, but I think that's the only option he has there for that red. I mean, if he plays it, I think if he plays it,
8.
possibly to get on the blue, I think the only red he can leave is the one he's playing. So he'd be a bit unlucky to leave it on if he did miss it. He went down for ball call,
9.
which is fine. Nice angle on the yellow.
No.
I think the red just below the pink goes. I think he might be playing for that one. Yeah, that goes. So, and that will open up the other one. So, Looking a bit better for Gerard now.
11.
As I say, as ever, you just got to keep tight control of the cue ball.
Twelve.
I think he's just got slightly straight away, slightly the wrong angle on the pink there. You needed to be the other side of straight, really. So it could be. It's not obvious to get on the next red from here.
Gerard Greene 12.
Yeah, it looks a heavy contact there, to be fair to him. There's just nothing on the cue ball at all. That's why I said finished up on the cushion. I don't think he struck the cue ball as well as he would have liked, but I think it was a heavy contact. Long red here. Oh, just a safety shot. The problem is he was always going to leave a tempter for Sean in the middle pocket. I wouldn't particularly like to give Sean too many tempters the way he pots, but with a 24-point lead and a couple of balls on the cushion, he may not take this red on, he might decide to keep it tight. I wouldn't blame him, it's a very difficult shot, don't get me wrong, it's a really tough shot, but Sean's such a good potter and he does go for his shots. I think it was the right decision there, to be fair. Put another red on the cushion. It's only a 24-point lead, but with a few reds on the cushion, if he did get another chance with the open reds, he'd expect to win the frame.
Yeah, fair to say Murphy's game has matured over the years. He turned pro when he was 15. You can imagine the way he played then, just went for everything, got plenty, but like all the players, he's learnt to play the percentages over the years. But that is a fantastic pot from Gerard Greene. That is brilliant. You did say, Mark, what a great potter he is.
He is, honestly, he's you know, I've been around 30 years as a professional. He's one of the best potters, out and out single ball potters I've ever seen. And you know, that kind of shot there, it doesn't surprise me. I know, ridiculously difficult shot, but he pots that kind of shot all the time.
Nine.
And balls off the cushion and awkward cueing shots. He's incredibly good at those shots. It's just, as I say, I just think his cue ball, even there, he's gone a little bit lower on the black than he wanted. And sometimes it's, you know, the cue ball gets a bit loose, and as I say, you can't keep potting missable shots all the time. Again, eventually they'll catch up with you.
Gerard Greene.
Wow,
No.
well, he developed the red, but the black stays out. Yeah, it's been a mixed bag, really. Some great potting, but unable to string too much together each time he's been in.
I just think that was the you know, the old one where you're focusing on getting the cannon on the red and just took your eye off the black there, to be fair.
What?
It's easily done, we've all done it. You know, when you're trying to just cannon the red off the cushion, it's so easy to just take your eye off the pot and put a little bit too much focus on the cannon, and it worked out. Cannon worked out perfectly for Gerard, but unfortunately just missed the black. We shouldn't do it because your main
6.
objective is to pot the ball. There's no point in getting the red off the boot cushion if you miss the colour. But we always seem to,
7.
for some reason, put more emphasis on the position than the pot on that kind of shot.
Murphy just checking the scores. He's going to need at least one of the reds tied up on the left-hand side.
Yeah, I like that shot from Sean. Deliberately played low on the red, and
14.
I assume he's going to try and get the reds out off the red here. I mean, he's got a great chance of being on the colour. He'll be very unlucky not to be on the colour once he cannons the reds.
50.
I mean, that's as bad as it could have been, but he's obviously still got the blue there, as you can see.
Well, Murphy's made a relatively slow start to the day, but it's a long day here.
20.
Plenty of time to hit his stride. If he can just kill this off now, just needs this red, he'll have a frame on the board. Still with a chance to win the match and get the 3 points.
21.
Murphy's already in the Champion of Champions because he was runner-up in the World Championship. That's one of the qualifying routes in. Of course, the winner of this event, if not
26.
already qualified, will play in that huge event in November in Bolton. Gerald Greene needs 2 snookers.
Sean Murphy 26.
It's always worth carrying on in this situation with the red on the table, because you've always got the possibility of a free ball.
Doesn't help though when you're in one yourself. And that could
Foul.
be a concession.
Sean Murphy 4.
Well,
Free
it's
ball.
not, but he left a lot there, the free ball, everything.
Round ball, thank you.
This is the gentlemanly thing to do, isn't it? Allow the player to come back and continue the frame. I think there might be a concession now, though.
Frame conceded. First frame,
Stays
Sean
in his
Murphy.
seat. So Sean Murphy then did enough in the end to secure the frame. Gerald Greene bringing that red off the cushion, but didn't pot the black. That was a key moment. Murphy has levelled up at 1 each.
The third
So
frame.
it's 1 each. That means we're guaranteed
Sean
2
Murphy
more
to break.
frames. First match of the day here. Of course, we're in the second stage now of the Championship League. This is Group E. The winner of the 2 groups today, the winners will go into a group with the winners from yesterday, Dave Gilbert and Chow Yu-Peng. And then we've got 4 more groups of the second stage. It all concludes on Friday.
One.
Good pot there from Gerard. Bit unfortunate. And they knew he was clipping off the side of the pack, so he was trusting a little bit to luck where the white finished. It could have been better,
Green
but
ball.
it's a safety shot now.
Gerard Greene 1.
I saw Gerard in the practice room this morning, Dave. He's had a bit of discomfort. He twisted his ankle, so he's in a little bit of pain. There's a fell over somewhere a few weeks ago. Doesn't seem to affect the way he's playing, but it's just a little bit of a discomfort. I'll try that again. Discomfort.
It's easy for you to
I
say.
still couldn't say it. I'm gonna give up. You know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, we don't think of sort of injuries, snooker players. They tend not to happen playing, but obviously everyday life, anyone can injure themselves. I know Sean had a bit of trouble last year himself.
He's adamant there was no alcohol involved, so we'll take his word for that. And but yeah, it could happen. It's not ideal when you're on your, when you're putting a bit of pressure on your feet when you're playing the game. But he says it's okay to play with it, so it's all good. It's just a bit of, if you're wondering why he's hobbling around a little bit, then that's why.
Well, years ago, when we were going back 30 years, Alex Higgins was involved in an incident which may actually have involved alcohol, but anyway, he broke his ankle. But it didn't stop him playing. He was literally hopping around the table.
I remember watching that. Yeah, amazing.
And not too long after that, I mean, he'd recovered to an extent, but he was still hobbling. He beat Stephen Hendry to win the Irish Masters at Goffs.
Incredible player, wasn't he? Yeah, that was a tough spot there for Sean to not leave this red near the pocket. It's always going to be difficult, but I mean, it looks quite straight to me, so I'm not really too sure how Gerard can get on the colour here. This is, Sean, the way Sean hits the ball, he could probably just screw back for the blue, but it's not really Jerry's game, deep screwed back shots. Slight angle, so he might be able to get out.
1.
Yeah, it's always difficult to get out there for a colour. I think he was just trying to get up there just past the pink and play for the green. He's looking at the blue. I mean, it's a really tough pot.
Gerard Greene 1.
Yeah, it's a tough pot there for Gerard. I think maybe a little bit of frustration not getting on the colour. He's had a few chances here and not quite taken them. So maybe a little bit of frustration, or maybe just fancied the pot. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not a great table for scoring here, if I'm honest. It's really difficult to, pink's tied up, black's tied up. All the blues off the spot. Yeah, very difficult to scoring table at the moment. He's not got the best angle on the yellow either, so I'm not sure he can avoid the cannon. You might not even go for the colour. Just
Blue ball, thank
cushion
you.
first up behind the blue.
Sean Murphy 1. Foul. The miss.
Amazing, really, to catch the
Sean
pink.
Murphy 6.
Murphy weighing up the plant,
Yeah.
but it's going back. Rob Spencer is going to have to put it back.
here.
Yeah, I know. Was it that red or that red that the pink's hit? Can you remember? You've clipped the pink and there's a red, there was a red here, wasn't there? It's that one, yeah.
Yeah, this gap here is free. There's that red one.
Now that's where it
So
was.
that red's further up then. Yeah. Yeah.
But they can't see these
All right,
pictures.
okay, thank you.
Or can they? I think they... Yeah, Rob can see it. So that's going to help
That's just
massively.
the bottom of the two now. Okay, thank you. Thanks, Ben. Can you leave that there for me?
Just needs to come down in there.
There's no separate marker. Normally there's a marker scorer operating this who would be doing the sort of to me to you stuff with the thumbs
the
up,
pink
thumbs
down
down.
towards
That's how
the
they do
back
it. But
and the right,
Rob's having
okay.
to
Yeah,
work it
sorry.
out himself. But he can see the freeze frame, so that's an obvious help.
It's got to be further out because
Yeah, it's a massive help having that. I mean, even in this situation, I think only the reds moved, and yet it was still trying to get it right. Only the red and the white. But if you can imagine if there was quite a few other balls that had gone moving about,
Yeah, Gerald's
it'd
doing
be
the,
there forever.
Okay.
Gerald's doing the thing with the thumb now.
Let's have a look on here. Yeah. Okay. I can't tell on here what's what.
So this needs to go down towards the pack, and that needs to go down towards the pack.
Yeah, the pink was further up, wasn't it?
I'll tell you what, leave that and we'll do it with the players because it's, yeah. Otherwise we'll be here all day.
Well, we're going to be here all day anyway, but he means with this frame.
The pink couldn't have been there because I think Joe had hit the pink,
That's fine.
so it couldn't have possibly been
Jerry?
there. I think it was higher, further up.
So
It
the
was
pink's further
near
out.
the top red, the pink.
Yeah.
Yeah, there.
I think it's closer to the ring. Yeah, it might be further up.
Yeah, I mean, it's like,
Yeah, pink's the problem ball here.
I think the pink is just to the right of its spot, which is what I was looking at. Yeah, okay. Sean, you happy with that? Yeah. Jared, yeah? You happy with
Well,
that?
it's
Okay.
definitely not 100%, but as the referee said, they could stand there all day really trying to get it right.
Yeah, Sean? Thank you. Foul and a miss. Sean Murphy full.
This is slightly easier to put back.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just trying to drop on the red near the pocket. Yeah. It's the obvious red to land on and leave it safe.
Jared? Yeah, Sean?
That's a good shot. Just looking at this part just now, these two reds, and where the cue ball is, you could possibly take the white up towards the bulk end for safety in case he missed it.
One.
Not a lot Gerald could do there really is to leave that. It's got a pretty good angle on the... I would imagine he'd take the blue
Blue ball.
here, get the blue on the spot, especially with the pink and black still tied up. That would make things a little bit easier for Sean. He's on the red though. Red on the side cushion, but that's a really tough pot if he
Six.
decides to go for it.
7. Ten. 11.
Some fantastic pot Sean's pulling out here. That was a great shot. And that's opened things up. You can get on to red near the pink spot here, or the one just to the right of it. It's looking, you know, gradually looking a much better table now.
16.
Yeah, he's made something happen, hasn't he? I mean, it was a horrible situation when he came to the table, but he's gradually opening things up.
17.
I mean, the 3 pots before that, the red down the cushion, then the green, and then the next red in the middle. There's 3 fantastic pots.
Oh,
Sean Murphy.
but misses the blue, playing the
17.
cannon. Opening things up well and truly down this end, but the blue stays out.
I think he'd done what Gerard done in the last frame there, just slightly took us off the pot, focusing on the cannon. And any time you do that, you miss the pot more often than not.
That's a big moment potentially. That was a chance to strike back well and truly, punish the mistake, but he's missed immediately.
One.
So Murphy, having opened these reds up himself in missing the blue, now looking to take full advantage and take the lead in the match.
Seven.
Left this one awkward though, needing the rest, thin cut.
Cheers, Sean, thank you. Sean Murphy, 7.
It's a good shot from Gerard there. Put the red on the side cushion, so that's a bit of a blocker coming down that side of the table. So he's going there, you've got to catch he's really, really thin. If he can see the red. It looked like he was getting down to play it. You have to catch those, so you have to near enough aim to miss the red altogether to catch them as thin as you need. It's a little bit thick, but there's no damage done.
It's an interesting match, I think, this, because Murphy is sort of threatening to hit his stride, hasn't quite done it yet. Greene, you're never quite sure if he's going to knock in a great one or miss maybe a more regulation one. So well and truly in the balance. Any score still possible. Victory for either player or a draw. I'm sure Ali Carter and Graham Dott would love to see this finish in a draw, because it always feels like points dropped for the other players.
Yeah, I just think first match on, they both know how important it is to get a good start. If you can get the win, then it really puts you in a strong position in the group.
Now this is table 2. Ryan Day looks set to level up with Alexander Ursenbecker, 17 in front. Pink and black left, so a snooker needed there, otherwise it's going to be one each. And with pink and black on, it's going to have to be a good snooker. As Greene attempts that red and misses. We've seen him pop tougher ones than that. There was pressure on it though. And now Murphy, 33 in front, will fancy closing this out.
Yeah, I just think Gerrards hasn't settled. Even though he won the first frame, he needed 3 or 4 chances to do it. And I just think even though he won that frame, he wasn't overly confident with his game, and he's sort of just carried on into the next couple of frames here. Just struggling a little bit at the moment.
Remember, table 2 is live all day on Matchroom Live. Ursenbecker needs 1 snooker with pink and black on there. That's 1 successfully laid snooker. He might have to lay 10 to get the penalty point.
7.
Yeah, I mean, it's especially tough with just a pink and black on the table to get a snooker, because the opponent just keeps rolling the ball over the pocket, so very difficult.
8.
Well, this frame a bit of a trial, but Murphy will observe that Greene is struggling a bit as well. He's got a good lead, and that's what he'll look to protect, maybe try and get something safe.
Yeah, he'll certainly be looking to get one of the bulk colours or the blue on the cushion here to protect that lead.
Blue ball. Sean Murphy, 8.
Safe-ish, not brilliant, but
Just to confirm, Ryan Day secured that frame next door, so 1 each.
okay, just not perfect. This has been a bit of a struggle, this frame, for both players. Just not quite far enough on the black. And Sean starts missing those with the rest. You know it's a bad frame.
Sean Murphy, 1.
You won't miss many of them. Fantastic rest player normally.
Yeah, it's very scrappy, and maybe just the sort of iron focus isn't there right now. Greene's struggling as well though, 42 behind as he comes to the table, but the frame could have been over a couple of times, he knows that.
One. Four. Jared Greene, 4.
Can Murphy knock in a Murphy special? Greene, I think, would be quite happy to see the back of this frame, although he'd prefer to win it. Well, the answer is yes, and he's on the pink, which is all he needs.
Yeah, I took the words out of my mouth there. I think Joe just wants to see the back of this frame.
Yeah, I mean, Murphy won't have enjoyed it either, but he'll enjoy winning it, and he'll enjoy that red as well. So the pink to lead by 45 with 43 on. The thing is, it doesn't matter how bad the frame is, they all count.
7.
This counts as much as a 147 winning this frame. It puts him 2-1 up, gives them the chance to win the match and take the 3 points.
Yeah, I mean, you can have frames like this. It's,
Sean
you know,
Murphy's
every
set.
frame's different in snooker. You can have scrappy frames, and you've got to play them as much as you do. You know, they're worth just as much as 100 break. And, you know, you can't... Not all the frames are going to be open. You can have a few misses, or the frames go scrappy like this one. That's the way it is, but you just got to, you know, take it as they are, and then just win the frame wherever way you can.
That's right, and it's a test of temperament as well, isn't it? You know, it might define how the players feel coming into the next frame. Sort of frame Mark Selby would win in his sleep, and this is sort of frame, doesn't matter what it's like. Mark Williams is the same. Just win it.
Yeah, and I mean, not only are they great at sort of these kind of frames, they'd also, it wouldn't affect their rhythm for the next frame. They'd probably, in the next frame, they're just as likely to go in there and have an 100 break. Whereas normally a frame like this can affect people's, you know, queuing a little bit, and, you know, this goes really scrappy and bitty. And mentally as well, they lose a bit of confidence when they've made a few mistakes.
Well, a chance once and for all to get this out the way.
What?
Yeah, balls went awkward early on, didn't they? The black was tied up, pink was tied up, the blue was nowhere to be seen. It was just hard going, hard graft. But Murphy's chipped away and chipped away, and he still, as I say, has a chance to win the match. Greene, who won the first frame, he's now battling for a draw.
Sean Murphy won on the frame.
So Sean Murphy stuck to his task. Not the best frame we've seen by any means in this year's Championship League, but Sean Murphy has won it, and he leads Gerard Greene by 2 frames to 1. Birthday boy, Sean Murphy, 2-1 up here against Gerard Greene. Very scrappy third frame, but he won it. He was 1-0 down, but now has a chance to collect 3 points from his first match in a very tough group that includes, of course, Graham Dott and Ali Carter. They're up next after this frame.
He needs to dig in here now, Joey. He's you find it hard to win this frame. He's struggling a little bit. But you just got to try and forget what's gone on, and then just focus on this frame. Try and nick a draw out of this match.
1. Green ball.
That's a good shot from Sean. Played that nicely.
4. Thank you. 5.
It's like you said, though, you know, he can win that a scrappy frame, and then you wouldn't surprise you if he came out and made a frame-winning break in the next. He's got that class about him.
That's what the top players do, Dave. That's why they're the top players. They don't let what's gone before affect them. Let's get on with the next frame.
12.
And you know, you need to do that if you want to get to the top of the game.
He's gone for the jugular, getting into the reds. He's got one to the far corner, the green pocket, potentially.
It could have been a bit better. I mean, it's not a bad shot here, but he really got some reaction out the cue ball there. Could have had an easier red than this. That was always near draw, that one.
Sean Murphy 12.
As I say, you could have had something easier than that. You've really got a lot of reaction out the cue ball going into the pack. I mean, you'd expect Sean to pot that, but it certainly wasn't a gimme.
But he signalled his intent, hasn't he? Greene will have noticed. You know, he gets another chance. He'll be in for the kill again. This is slightly awkward. Often seems the case when you're already struggling a bit, nothing seems to come easy. He always knew this red was close to this corner, so it put pressure on the shot anyway.
Well. Six.
Sean Murphy already
7.
winner of 9 ranking titles, including the World and UK Championships. He's won a lot of other big events as well, the Masters, the Champion of Champions, the Premier League. He won the first tournament staged in South America, the Brazil Masters. And plenty more besides. And you can see from his run to the
14.
World Final the potential to win a lot more in the years to come. Practices hard in Ireland. He has long sessions with the likes of Fergal O'Brien. Goes up to Antrim to play Mark Allen and Jordan Brown as well.
15.
Yeah, he's a fantastic player. Has been for a very long time. Always a danger. He can win any tournament he plays in, Sean. He nearly won the biggest one of the lot, Dave, a few years ago. He nearly won the 6 Reds. But he just fell a little bit short there.
Well, that's
22.
your manner, isn't it, that tournament? What I like about
23.
Sean is, you know, even when he turns up at the venue, he looks ready. He's always smartly dressed. He walks in with intent. It's a place of work for him.
$30.
You'd have to think if you can get this red and get all the pink or the blue, then this frame could be over.
Thanks, Sean. Okay. 31.
A little bit short on the pink. You might have to play a little cannon, perhaps.
No, that's all
Depends
right.
on the angle. It looks like it's slightly the wrong angle for the red I think he was planning to get on. So you might have to play a little cannon. No, he just screwed off the cushion for the...
$37.
You might have to play a little cannon in a minute. They seem to be all blocking each other, these other reds.
$38. $41. $42.
This is a key shot to the frame now. You're gonna have to play some sort of cannon into the reds. If he gets on a red here, then that'll be the end of his frame.
Sean Murphy,
Taking his
42.
half the blue. It's happened a few times in this match, that situation. But luckily for Sean, he's not really got into the pack, so he's not really opened them up.
Yeah, that's the key thing really, he's left nothing. Apart from this one to the middle. Alex Back is going to be 2-1 up against Ryan Day, just won frame 3 with a big break there, so good start to the day for the Swiss professional. Stuart Bingham and Ashley Hugel also in that group. Remember, it's live on Matchroom Live.
The reds are all in the open for Jerry to get right back into this frame if he can get a chance, but the more safety shots that are played, the more likely 1 or 2 reds will go towards a cushion. Well, that's especially what Sean will be looking to do. Seems to just play the red near the middle pocket thin and come back up to vault that way. That would seem the obvious shot. A bit fortunate there, tap on the tail from Sean, but it was a bit fortunate. He caught the jaws of the pocket there, Gerard, so it worked out nicely. Complete miss hit from Gerard there. He's trying to get the cue ball. I'd imagine back, well, certainly on the black cushion near the blue. Just decelerated on that, I think, a little bit. Not got any reaction at the cue ball at all.
1.
So Sean Murphy back in, looking now to kill this off. It'd be a good
Well,
win. He's
thank
not
you.
been at his best, but if he can take the 3 points, it doesn't matter. He's got time throughout the day to improve.
Seven.
That red effectively for
8.
victory. Snooker's required. So, having lost the first frame, he's fought back well. As I say, it's not been fluent. There's been no real breaks to speak of, but if he ends the day as the group winner, it won't matter. This will have contributed. He'll have a few hours off, actually, Murphy. We won't see him again until 5 against Ali Carter. He's last
50.
on against Graham Dott. By then he'll know what he needs to do in the last match. Against Jamie
60.
Jones, he just needed a draw in the previous stage, and he went 2-0 up, so that was that. Might
20.
feel a bit odd playing on your birthday. I think, though, Sean would play on Christmas Day if he had to.
21.
Just loves the game. Looking to start the new season with a bang, having, of course, ended last season with that epic run to the Crucible final.
$24. $25.
Gerald Greene will be back match after next against Graham Dock.
28.
Still possible he could qualify, but obviously needs now wins in his last 2 matches, and then he needs other things to go his way as well.
29. $36. Sean Murphy,
So,
36.
Sean Murphy
Brian,
responded well, having lost the opening frame of this match. It wasn't the most fluent encounter, but he won't care. He's got the 3 points. He's got the job done in the first match of the day. Sean Murphy then beats Gerald Greene by